On this episode of the Thruwell Podcast, we bully Caleb enough to him to open up to us. Also, can Pringles bring us apart? All that and more on the Third Wheel Podcast.
Smooth transition. Welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Shaps.
And I am unmotivated for this episode, but I'm here.
Same. Let's go home.
But I am ready to have a great time with y'all. I say unmotivated. I totally forgot to look up what we're going to talk about today. So we're just going to wing it. How do you feel about winging it today, Shaps?
I love winging it with my best wing man.
Now I'm in the mood for actual wings.
Okay, what kind of wings?
I'm not a spicy food type of guy. So I'm, when it comes to like, you know, the wing tier list where, you know, they usually list out their menu where you see the whole spectrum from least spicy to spicy.
Yeah.
So I actually usually go for the savory wings. So I'm going to go with lemon pepper on that one.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I like the barbecue one, but not like a spicy barbecue. They have a spicy barbecue typically, but I'm usually just down for the honey barbecue or something.
Going off the Wingstop flavor list, and this applies to most all wings for me. Always boneless.
Boneless?
Boneless, yeah.
Okay, so you're a communist. That's cool.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you know, nothing wrong with communism except everything.
Of course not.
Continue.
I'm original hot and spicy Korean.
Okay, so at least you pick a good like spicy flavor.
Asian zing, spicy Korean, yeah, whatever that is, and then original hot always.
Okay.
I used to be just a basic boy with garlic parmesan and honey barbecue, but then I started like really developing my taste for spice, and I've never gone back.
I'm not a spicy guy. I hate it. Like it's too much. I can't do it.
I hate it when it like ruins your meal. But like just enough, like I don't know. There's a lot of like I think we talked about this before, where like a restaurant or a fast food chain will advertise, "Oh, our new hot spicy lava chicken sandwich," but it's like hardly any spice at all. So I'm just like kind of always craving that next level, and very few restaurants can actually succeed that.
But you see, to me, it gets too hot, and then it just kind of there's no flavor. It's just like spice.
I'm thinking, well, that's where the flavor comes. Is you have to find that happy medium. You see, where there is still flavor and it doesn't burn your tongue to where you can't taste anything. I'm thinking about just making my own, honestly, but that would be so much experimentation of just like how much is too much, how little is too little. You know,
why do you prefer boneless? Is it because it's less work?
It's less messy. You can eat with a fork and knife, and yeah,
fork and knife. Audience, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
That's the last time I ask you to open up to me, because you know what? Sometimes I usually only whip this out in relationships, but
okay,
you know, there's some aspects of you I don't want to see.
Wow. All right. Is this it? Is this where we part?
Well, guys, it was a fun show. It's a fun series, but alas,
but I like boneless wings.
Yeah, it's over.
I love how he's like, okay, boneless wings, I can tolerate that. Fork and knife, get out of here.
No, I mean that you were on the fence. I was like strike 7, but now it's too late.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't do spicy, man. I really can't. And like even like on the, again, this was more of a joke, right? But there was one time like my friend gave me trail mix that was just like Chipotle trail mix.
Yeah.
And it was just because I was expecting regular trail mix that didn't have anything to it. You know, maybe just a little salty. Like I just ate it without looking at it, and it just had a burst of flavor to it. Which again, Chipotle is nothing, right? But it's just because it took me off guard. I was like.
Okay, I have a funny story then to compare
please.
to that. In kindergarten, all the way back in kindergarten, I went to lunch one time and they had spicy chicken nuggets. I was like, because I was kindergarten, so I couldn't really talk much, but I was like, you know, I wanted those spicy chicken nuggets. And so they brought, you know, I got some, I sat down and I ate one. And like they gave you a little, well, in our school, they didn't give you milk cartons, they gave you bags of milk because it was a ghetto school. So you had to poke a straw through it.
Bag of milk.
Yeah, it's gross. So I drank all of that. Maybe this is first grade. I think it was first grade, actually. I drank all that. So this is in Texas. And then I ate a chicken nugget. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst possible experience ever. And I was like basically crying and screaming with how hot it was for some reason. And then, you know, lunch lady came over. She was like, what's wrong? I'm like, my tongue's literally on fire. Please, can I have another milk? And she's like, I'm sorry, honey, that's going to cost another $1.50.
Back then, $1.50 was a lot.
Yeah.
Before inflation.
But I'm like,
lady. That milk's $5 now.
Lady. So I'm like, lady.
I'm going to die. You don't understand.
I know about your wages. I know about the grants.
My dad pays your salary with taxes.
It was definitely not a private school. So I'm like, yeah, she basically just left me there to die.
That's messed up.
I know.
Now, remind me, I missed it. What did you actually eat that was killing you?
It's a spicy chicken nugget.
That spicy chicken nugget.
But like, I'm pretty sure they made it there or they spiced it up there and they just went way overboard.
There's no way that they had a chef back there making your food like that. That has to be the worst spicy like nugget ever.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall back then. Now that's a nugget I'd try on the show. Like,
was-
just looking at it,
I
and it's
think
like
there was
still chicken backing at you.
I think there was one time I actually said my compliments to the chef because I heard it on a TV show or something to lunch ladies, and they made fun of me for it.
You just can't win, can you?
I genuinely thought that they made it, so I was like thanking them. But they were like, "We didn't make it, you stupid child. Get out of here. Eat your spicy chicken nugget."
I know, they just de-thought it.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd be shocked to find even a fridge back there.
What do they do? They just get a bag. They bring in like a big garbage bag full of the food.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Unpack it.
Yeah. Well, guys, like I promised,
What we promised?
we did. We're gonna do a joke from my failed.
He tried to weasel out of this one. Just
I
so
did.
I don't know.
I was like, I really don't want to do this. And
I'm
he
like,
was
if anyone's gonna weasel out of it, it's gonna be me because it wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
So,
and he
we're
brought up
doing
a good point. Anytime he's not in the mood, I say, we're doing it. And then this time I wasn't in the mood, and he's like, we're doing it.
yep.
So-
Yep.
Here I go.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Who should go first this time? I guess I can do it since it was my idea. I understand, guys, this isn't funny. So
Just like every week,
every
your
week,
moralities.
I just realized why I bombed.
It's just like, oh, like one gut punch after another.
right. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's still no audience. Although I talked to a more experienced comedian who like has actually had a long time to perfect his craft, and he actually does this. When I texted him, I was looking at places to start. He gave me like everywhere to do it, like open mic night stuff. So, and then he's, I told him I bombed. He's like, dude, like everybody's going to bomb the first 100,000 times. And I was like, oh, that's good to know.
He's like, you haven't seen my podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
All right.
but yeah.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So this is more so a personal story that I thought would be funny if I just told it.
Okay.
It's not even in joke form, but I used to read in the bathroom, right? I don't do that anymore. Although, of course, nowadays everyone's on their phone while using the bathroom.
Heck yeah.
So I'm sitting there pooping, and I'm reading, and I was in the like one of the most kids were brutal at the school I was at. So I'm sitting there in the school bathroom reading, and you got the kid that comes in here. He's like, "Yo, someone's reading and taking a dump!" Like has to yell it out, and then like I'm sitting here like I'm like terrified because not only am I reading a book, but I'm reading the Bible. So I'm sitting here like trying to like I gotta close it and like hide it. It's like and then of course a bunch of other kids have to come in and be like, "Yo, look, he's reading a book while while pooping."
Which numbers are you reading? Number 2?
Yeah. That's awful. Anyway, it's just like a story. That's it. It's not even like a real joke.
Well, what's funny about that is I was literally thinking, I was like, what's the most awkward book you could be reading on the toilet? The Bible. And you said it. So I was like,
yeah. No, it just gets worse the more you hear about it.
that's funny.
Yeah, I actually had to, now, back to just story time, not even part of the bit. I had to sit there and wait for them to leave because I was not about to let them know who I was. It was a big school.
You're so right.
It was a big school.
No,
It was,
they have a way of just
Yeah.
like documenting your face.
Oh,
and
yeah.
somehow getting it everywhere.
I was sitting there like, okay, close the Bible, put it back in my backpack, sit there and wait until they go.
What's the big deal? That's so stupid.
What?
Like, yeah, who cares if you're reading? Like,
I know, but kids are just brutal, man. We could talk about bullying for a minute.
honestly, dude, that's so stupid. Because it's like, it's a totally normal thing to do. Like, it actually helps you pass. Like, if you're just like doing something else. Like,
It's one thing if no, this is before smartphones. To be honest with you, actually they were around, but they weren't as big as they are now.
Yeah.
but they were there. Okay, at least the iPod was there and all sorts of stuff, right? Because nowadays you use your phone while in the bathroom. Nobody bats an eye. Nobody says anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason back then, like, oh, he's reading a book. Oh, let's.
I
make
wonder
fun of
if
him.
it was more that you were reading a book, and kids are freaking so uneducated nowadays and, illiterate. I'm just like, that's probably what it was. You could have been doing anything but like the book reading. Gosh darn, how do they even know?
you could see, I guess, through the stall door.
You're saying
in the crack
that these
kids were looking,
that these freaks
were looking
through.
Yeah.
In the yeah, I'm sorry, they took the L on this one. You could have absolutely fired back.
Well, where were you when I was in the thick of it?
You could have absolutely fired back and been like, well, why are you looking at it?
No. See, kids back then that are quick on their feet, if you try to clap back, they could immediately make it worse for you.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not good at roasting. I can maybe come up with one good zinger, but it better be so good to where everyone gets quiet, or like the guy that you're insulting gets quiet and everyone goes, oh, because if you don't and everyone's like, what did he say? Oh, you're done. So counterattack, you're toast.
I should have come in the bathroom and then you would have been like blah 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 blah. I would have been and then they would have been
yeah. How long have you been in Texas?
Since 2006.
Okay, so we actually wouldn't have lived too far from each other, I don't think. So where were you, Shaps? You could have came to my rescue.
Honestly, I was probably what grade was that?
Let's see. I want to say 11th grade.
I was homeschooled.
No.
Up until
I doubt you would have been much help anyway.
Gosh, that's rough. I mean, probably. You're so right, though.
Yeah. I'm sure you're there now, but back then, probably not. I couldn't defend myself.
No, that's true. And I was kind of a wuss back then. But yeah, now I actually broke up a fight with a bunch of kids recently.
How'd that go?
Funny enough. Okay, so let's see. I was at work somewhere, let's say volunteering. And there were a bunch, like there was a window. I was in a room and there was a window next to me and there was a bunch of kids on the other side. It was like some student thing they were doing. And they were playing like, you ever seen Nine Square? It's like this game they could play.
No, I have not seen Nine Square.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Foursquare was cool. I never saw
Think
Nine
of that,
Square.
but with nine. So they were playing around and then like, I guess one of them beat the other one. And then one of the kids, there was like 4 or 5 of them recently. And then they started like, one of them started kind of like getting up in the other one's face and he was like, kill yourself. Like he said it like 5 times. I took that very seriously, so I looked at him. He could see me through the window. He see me coming. And then like right before I get there, they actually grab each other and they start slamming each other against the wall and like up against the window. It's like, oh my God. And I went out there. I was like, hey, you're done. And they were like, oh, just joke, man. I was like, you're done. Leave. And it was like, oh, okay. And they walk away. I was like, man.
Look at you.
If I had that authority back then.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird. I never figured out, I guess, one of the biggest things I regret was not learning how to stand up for myself back then because a lot of the problems could have been avoided. Because back then, like, if you got in a fight with someone, okay, so many disclaimers. Doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But I was so afraid to like get physical with somebody back then.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying violence is the answer, but there were a couple solid times where if I had just grabbed this kid by the nose and slapped him, not even punched him, if I just slapped him and made him look like a loser in front of everybody, that would have fixed all my problems.
Sure.
There were a couple of key moments where if I had just like stood up for myself, it would have fixed a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, whenever people come at me, I can just like either say something funny back or laugh with people, and then everyone, you know, it just kind of like disarms the situation, and it's like it's fine. And then like me and whoever said whatever are cool.
Sure.
But back then, when there was a kid in particular he legit got picked on by everybody, so he would pick on me to at least not be the very bottom of the totem pole. But looking back, man, all I had to do is snap his glasses in half. And you're in high school. It's not like I would have gotten an assault charge, you know what I mean? So nobody would, you know, it would have solved my problem had I stepped up and just kind of defended myself a bit, you know, because he didn't have a problem. Like sometimes he would push me, like physically push me, and then I would just not do anything about it. But looking back, it's like, man, if I had just done something, nothing crazy to where like, you know, I put him in the hospital, but just like something to show him that I wasn't going to just take it.
Well, like that's the thing in the moment you're trying to think of all these clever things to say or to do.
Right.
Honestly, what I've seen work a lot of times is when kids just sort of say, like, they're just like, well, why are you doing this? What's the gain of this? And then like they don't really know what to say after that. It's like, because we like it. It's like you can make them feel really stupid,
I guess.
I think there were 2 times when like there was one time or both times I didn't fight anyone, but like I could have or fought back at least. There was this one kid like in 5th grade when he like bullied me every day for some reason, And like, again, first day, he was just like relentless, but he was like this really, really chunky kid, glasses. Like I could pick on so many things, but I chose not to. And then halfway through the day, I'm almost certain he pooped his pants at some point because he smelled like garbage, absolute poop. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I could tell everyone right now that you crapped your pants, but I just can't be that kid. I just
let him go.
I let him go.
Did he leave you alone after that?
No, he actually wrote a fake love letter and shoved it in my locker.
That's
and
messed up.
Had me meet a girl, quote unquote, outside my house.
You should look, man. That's a great story, but you were the bigger man, but you should have just.
Oh my gosh, dude! I ate so much poop that day.
Oh,
but
dude,
second time is actually I was on a bus coming back from a camp, and I don't know if I told you this story, but it was my sister's boyfriends who like made a comment about her, and then everyone on the bus was like, "Yo, dude, her brother's on the bus." And it was me, and everyone's like, "Fight, fight, fight, fight!" And then he like seceded. This dude could have beat me up, tore me apart, but he seceded. He was like, "You know what? You get one free punch anywhere," and you know what that means. Yeah, and literally, even like the counselors were like, "Fight!" Like literally, just like he dissed your sister, man. I'm like,
I apologize, audience, for that crazy laugh, but that just took me off guard. That was funny.
Genuinely, that's what happened, and I have
funny.
so many witnesses to confirm
That is awesome. I'm happy.
Well, yeah, and here's what confused so many people. I chose not to do anything. And it literally wasn't because I didn't want to punch this dude, but I thought in my head, okay, really think about this. You punch a kid, your sister finds out, is going to hate you forever because she's not going to believe you what your story is.
I almost don't believe you, but I do. I trust you. But it is ridiculous.
I'm going to get a talk to. I might get kicked out of this program. Like all this stuff. I'm like, it doesn't make sense, like logically
Right.
It doesn't make sense. I just said, you better not do it again, or else I'll tell everything you said. And then that was basically it. But then like everyone's like, oh, what the heck, man? Counselors are like, you real loser. I was like, nah, whatever.
So this kid, what did he do? This kid terrorized me.
Oh, real quick.
Short.
A friend actually found me years and years and years and years later, like probably 3 years later, and actually said, hey, I was making fun of you at the time, but I actually really respect how you didn't like throw that punch. Like it was too easy, essentially. I was like, oh, thanks, man. I actually glad you think that now after all the
after all the boo, and all the people watch you chicken out.
Yeah, but too smart for my own good. All right, what was your
oh no, just say this kid like so this kid I was telling you about would like terrorize me any chance he got.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'd get physical where he'd shove me and I'd hit a locker and then I'd just do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I was too scared to do anything about it, and I just came out of homeschool. I didn't know how to deal with conflict.
Yeah.
There was one time that actually got him to chill out. So we were both playing football, and it was off season, so football season was over, and we were doing this thing where they tested how much we could lift and how fast we could run a sprint, like so they were timing us on everything, and then they weighed us. Okay, so this kid would always call me fat, and he was like, you're blah blah blah. He was fat too, and that's something I should have pointed out.
Yeah.
What I should have done back then was when he called me fat, I should have cupped his chest and like squeezed him. That's what I should have done, and that would have shut him up. That's what I should have done.
I don't think so, Caitlin.
No. Just I know what I should have done, chaps.
Okay,
we're different people.
In your fantasy world.
We're not the same people. Okay. We're different people. But everyone would have laughed. He would have turned red, and I would have had the satisfaction of knowing I embarrassed him, and then he would have shut up because I'll tell you why. And
okay.
But I'll tell you what happened. So
you both got weighed.
He's calling me fat. He blah, 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 blah. So I get on the scale, and he's like, look at him. He's about to weigh more than everybody here. And then I didn't. Everyone was shocked at how, little I didn't weigh. There was like, oh, okay. Never mind. Everyone got quiet. And then he hopped on, and he was like an extra 10 pounds on me. And not muscle, mind you. He was like, he was fat. So then we did the sprint. I beat him by like 3 seconds on the sprint. And then when we were lifting weights, like I beat him. And then then everyone switched from me to this kid, and they're like, man, if I was you, I would just quit. I'd get off the team. You know, so everyone went from telling me what was up to everyone started just piling on him. And then eventually, not right then and there, but he did eventually quit. He got, you know, because people were picking on him, and his nickname was Chubbs, like Chubby.
Oh boy.
So like they finally got off my case and switched to him, and he couldn't take it.
Yeah.
That was one thing though that I've always prided myself on, was I didn't quit just because people were being mean.
Sure.
And that's carried over into tons of stuff now. But he did quit, and then people made fun of him for that. So he was known as like a loser and a quitter. Later on, now I switched schools, but I still kept tabs on everyone there because it was a small school. Well, there was a kid he was trying to pick on the same way he used to pick on me, and I just took it. So I guess I gave him confidence to think, well, if this other kid I can just pick on because they're not going to do anything about it. Well, this kid, I understand why he chose him as a target, because he was real skinny, he was smaller, he was diabetic. There was one time this kid peed himself, and he just couldn't. It wasn't his fault, but he peed himself, and then he had a stink to him. So I understand he was already kind of looking like an older man when he was just a kid. You know, like I understand why that he was getting picked on. Well, this kid that he was picking on that peed himself and was diabetic.
My God.
So he's picking on him, and the kid.
It's too easy. Why would you?
You would think so.
satisfaction?
So he's picking on him. This kid grabs him, shoves him into a locker, and just starts wailing on him and beating him up. Right? And so then after that, he quit picking on kids.
Wow.
And that's what I'm telling you, Shaps. Like, had I just done something, like literally the bare minimum, what that bully didn't do, like he just didn't anticipate anyone fighting back. And so I'm telling you, like, I know what I described to you sounds ridiculous, like, oh, Caleb, don't do that. And I'm telling you, like, the little bit of resistance would have shut him up, you know? So.
But I think the victory you achieved is way better.
Maybe.
Literally, you didn't have to say anything. You just showed everyone. Actions speak way louder than words, or I guess smaller actions.
Perhaps.
But that was, I think, that's like a great story.
For that one, he was the worst offender. But what also ended up happening was, because I let him get away with it, a lot of other people saw the green light to, okay, Caleb's not going to do anything, so we can do what we want. So he wasn't the only one. That was the thing. And it was almost, not quite, but almost the whole football team.
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends on there that were nice to me. Some of them did stand up for me. But when you let one guy take, in front of everybody, when you let him bully you, then you let everyone's going to do it. Everyone that's a bully is going to do it. And it makes them feel better, you know. And then there's also the free, like, well, he's not going to do anything to stand up for himself, so we just keep doing it. So, yeah, things got better, but, I mean, they were a far cry from how good they could have been.
Yeah.
And that's weird, because I was a Christian private school. That's the other thing, was like, everyone's, in theory, you're paying top dollar for it.
Sure.
You know, per school year, it's like $10K to go to a private school that's Christian. But you would think things would be better, but no. No. And I found better luck at public school. There were less bullies. Anytime there were that story where I was reading the Bible on the toilet, like that was in a public school, but that was a very isolated incident.
Sure.
For oddly enough, public school was just so much nicer. I found my people. I found the nerds that were cool enough to where they didn't get picked on by other people, and they would make sure I didn't get picked on. Like, it was just really, that was pretty close to nowadays, where I think now I have the best friends I'll ever have in my entire life. Right then and there, in that time frame, at least for high school, I felt like that with them too. I was like, man, these are gonna be my friends forever. And they weren't. You know, once you graduate, like, you know, y'all go your separate ways. But I was like, man, these are some cool people. Like, I can't, you know, I love these guys, ride or die. You know, so weird side note. I don't know. Bullying is horrible. Sometimes I wonder if I'm slipping into that realm sometimes, where I'm doing some bullying, and I try not to. I try to be big on it, but every now and then I'll see someone who is like, man, they just did something so memeable. I got to point it out, you know, get some laughs. But I wonder sometimes if I'm slipping too far into bully territory. You know,
it's a weird relationship, or just like kind of place I'm in. Like, I'm a very easy to make fun of kind of person. Like, just
same.
It's so easy, and also people get like the biggest reaction usually. That's why I give them big reactions. But it's not because it like bothers me. Genuinely, it's like I just like making people laugh. Sure. But when people do like I've noticed nowadays, I've found definitely my confidence in how to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
If people go too far,
For sure.
my good friends are like, that's too far, or like that doesn't make any sense, or they'll do something I really don't like, and I will turn 180, and I'm like, stop, like, don't do that. And then they're like, they say that the reaction I give is like scary, and they're like, okay, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
See, I'm not easily offended to where like anytime someone says anything against me, I'm like, you're bullying me. Like,
like I spent my whole life dealing with it, you know, like it's,
and sometimes they're just giving us a really good joke. Sometimes I do something really dumb to where like, you know, why wouldn't you point it out?
That's why I tell them I only get upset if it's not funny. Like if it's funny, that's one thing, or if it's like relentless and it's just like being a dead horse, I'm like, that's stupid.
Right.
There was one time where I had like a bad day, and like one person pulled a prank on me. I didn't give them the reaction they wanted, and they were like, "What's up?" I was like, "Bad time," and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And then he was like,
"But my friends nowadays though will stand up for me. There are a couple of times where someone is maliciously coming at me, and Darcy has stepped in and been like, you know, don't talk to him like that, you know. So it's like really nice, and not just them. So it's been good, you know. Like I'm in a good place in my life now, and I can stand up for myself. That's the other thing. So I don't know. I figure if I ever ran into that kid again, I could see him still trying to be a bully. Because maybe he's just always like that.
Got like a massive 6-pack. He's like,
no, I've seen pictures. I still have him on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So after I beat him in the weigh in and the running and lifting weight stuff, once I beat him in that, he played nice. So he would anytime I'd say anything to him, I tried a couple of times before that to be peace. To make peace with him and be friends. I tried. You know, there were a couple of times where there were him and a group were like in a conversation in the classroom and they're joking and laughing. Then I just add to the joke and then he'd be like, you know, he'd just like, I don't care. You know, anytime I talk, like he was just, you know, he would never talk to me. Anytime I asked him a question, he would just look at me like, I don't know, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wanted nothing to do with me. But then after I showed him up on all that stuff I mentioned earlier, then he started talking to me like a normal person and was trying to joke with me and stuff like that.
That's also another thing, a mistake I made in school was trying to be friends with everyone. Doesn't work. Yeah. Usually, like if you're cool, you're chill, people won't be friends with you. You like, I don't know. It didn't work out. Typically, that a lot of people found that annoying. You know. Definitely didn't work out in my scenarios. I think you can be friends with a lot of people, but I am now. Like I get along with most everyone nowadays. Yeah. It's weird if I don't.
Right.
But like back then, I was just like, I'm going to be a good Christian boy and make sure that everyone knows the love of Jesus. I'm like, okay, can you tell where this went wrong?
Right. I get that. If you're just a really cool person though, you will get along with pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Now back then, that's high school. Like that kid that was bullying me was just trying to be a bully
high school is so different than real life.
Real life. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like night and day.
And that's what everyone has to. That's what everyone finds out. Whether you're the kid that gets bullied, either you rise up and make it in the world, or if you're a bully and you get out into the world, you realize, hey, like you really can't do that to everybody. You know what I mean? Like you got to be
in serious trouble.
Oh yeah, trouble, beat up. You know, like anything I would have done in high school would have been nothing to what he would have done in real life.
And then there are some kids who like can't ever get over it. Like I got bullied so much, and my whole life's gonna be revenge against this one kid. It's like no, once you get out of high school, like forget it. Like just move on.
That's what I'm saying. Like either you adapt to the world or you don't. So. Yeah, so I'm a very easygoing guy to where I can pretty much make friends everywhere. I know the bar is not the best place to be like, you know, yeah, I'm great making friends everywhere, but I don't know. I'll just be sitting there and people want to strike up a conversation. I'm good at it. So yeah, you can't make friends with everybody, but there's a difference between trying to be friends with everyone and just being friends with everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's not something you should try to do. Like if you're a pleasant person and you're fun to talk to, it'll just happen. You don't have to try. It'll just work itself out. So yeah, I don't know. I very much, I don't know. That was just kind of like a backstory, you know, and that's how I became Batman. You know, I decided I don't want to be bullied anymore. And I just started beating up bullies. And now,
that's so cool.
Now I fight crime in a rubber suit.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting to me how much things have changed. I don't know if you can. Well, maybe you can. You see it on TV all the time. Like, how do you? I'm wondering how you can get away with bullying nowadays.
How you get away with bullying?
Yeah, with how the bully awareness stuff going around, mental health awareness, like all the awareness going around. How do you get away with bullying anymore? To where when someone bullies you, And now you just pull a card of like,
there's two ways.
You're triggering me.
There's definitely two ways.
What?
One, cyberbullying has actually gone up in intensity. But even though it's not like
Real.
yeah, but also that I mean, like how it's not like how like back then people could drop like the N word 50 million times and like not get in trouble, but like there was like a weird kind of calm in the Wild West feel about it, or like yeah, it was bad, but like there's way more mental health crisis with cyberbullying nowadays. Oddly enough. Because like that's where all the bullies went. They went to the internet because they can't do it in real life anymore.
Right.
So that's what they do. They just hide behind a computer screen, and they know people are super sensitive online, like way more sensitive online now. And all they have to do is like it's just no work at all. Honestly, there was like this one TikToker lady who like posted a cringy video about her and her husband, and like comments, were really really bad and really terrible, and she like quit her whole career because of it. I'm like. It's all it really takes, just like a few trolls just be like, blah, 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 and that's it. So they don't have to try anymore, to be honest. Like, even though, like, it is super sensitive, I would say maybe in school. But even then, like, do we even have any evidence that that's a thing? Like, if someone gets really bullied in school, do we have any evidence that says, okay, well, a whole bunch of people are going to come to his defense?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Now, honestly, I couldn't see it happening, maybe. But I would also say a lot of people probably hide behind the banner of some active movement, and bully someone almost like legally, essentially.
That's fair.
Which I see that happen a lot too.
Yeah,
so
I think you're right.
It didn't go away by any means. It only got stronger in like different ways.
I didn't think about that.
It evolved.
So the bullying that you and I were talking about earlier, that's probably not gone, but
it's not
lesser
popular anymore.
Yeah, I agree. You're right about that. So, okay, that's actually a good way to look at it. It's just like it's adapted the same way we've had to adapt.
No, it's like it's like Jello. It just morphed around everything.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
Which so you're never going to conquer bullying the same way you're never going to fully conquer racism. It's just in human nature. Sometimes it sucks, but
sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I guess now is the time to transition from deep sadness.
Oof.
That's why I had to grow up so fast. But no. I want to talk about cartoon characters that everyone hated and who you'd still hate nowadays.
So yeah, you get home from your horrible day of bullying, and you turn on your TV, and
boom, Caillou's on. You're like, oh god,
no,
I bully that kid.
And then your mom's like, I want you to watch the whole program. It's super educational.
I remember the time my mom put on. She put on like parental lock on our direct TV, and I was stuck on Nick Jr. for like X amount of time, and like it just took forever to finally get her to take it off.
Gosh, I hate
the waves of hey, we're doing this now. Okay, we're not doing this now. Hey, we're doing this now. Just the hard like, why are you doing this to me? This is boring. I'm gonna call CPS. This is torture. I can't. Oh, the times we went on a diet and then we're off a diet and then back on a diet. It was just like we had something we loved and then it was gone, and now it's back in, and now it's gone. And then like the same thing. TV, I had to hide shows from my mom.
Me too. Oh yeah.
Because it and it wasn't even because there was anything bad. It was just like one bad episode, and I won't even say bad episode, just like one thing that she didn't like, and then gone. Can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't watch basically most anything from Nickelodeon, even Drake and Josh. One time she watched the episode where they get fake IDs, and she saw that as, oh gosh, this is... Yeah. Which, to be fair, Drake and Josh actually kind of had some mature-ish moments, but that was enough to ban that show for a while, which I ended up watching a whole thing. What show I hid from my mom, like, oh my gosh, this is my secret, was actually the Last Airbender. Not because she ever said I couldn't watch it. It was because when the pilot came on, the first episode came on, I was at my grandmother's house, and I was watching it. I was like, this is cool. Because my cousin told me to watch it. I was like, this is so cool. And then my uncle came in, he was like, are you sure your mom would like you watching this? And that scared me so much that I actually turned it off, and I never watched it again. Until season 3 came out, and then I binge watched it in secret. I got up super early every morning, and then my brother found me. He's like, what are you watching? I was like, please don't tell anyone. And then we both started watching it. We both fell in love with the show.
Yeah.
And then my sister came in. She was like, what are you watching? I was like, Last Airbender. She's like, this is the stupidest thing ever. And then she left, and then she actually watched it with her husband when they got married.
Yeah.
And binge watched the whole thing. I was like, it's a part of the family now.
Isn't that crazy how like you had to do so much hiding to something
I never
that
asked.
the whole family enjoys?
I never asked. Eventually, my mom found out. She was like, "Well, what is this?" I'm like, "It's anime, but not." And she's like, "Okay, that's cool. Like that's fine." It sounds like
right,
but
Isn't that crazy?
there are plenty of shows that she would have said no to that were like
that probably would have been one of them had she caught you sooner.
That's so true.
Yeah.
They would have seen some scenes.
Yeah,
I
way
know
sooner.
there's an episode of Clone Wars where they go to like the Dathomir, where it's like there's witches of Dathomir, and they do like a ceremony on Darth Maul. I'm like, this is so cool, but I had to turn the volume down. I turned it down to 1. I was like, there's no way, but so cool.
See, Mom tried to take away Lord of the Rings after I had already fell in love. It was too
Oh,
late.
that sucks.
It was too late.
I got pulled away from before I even touched it.
Yeah,
with Harry Potter
and
as well.
And you're lucky because I had to do so much to get her to get me to watch it back.
Dude,
like I did
remember
chores,
the fights, the battles. Yeah,
that was one I was like, Mom, you can't take this from. I'm sorry, like because I was I was developing as a person at that stage, and she tried to like you can't. I'm
do
sorry,
that. Yeah.
you can't. So I had to do so many chores to get her to get it back to me. And I remember one time she surprised me with it. I don't know how we got her in the mood, but one time she sat me down and she was like, I've noticed all the work you've done for the house. I've noticed all the blah, blah, she was giving me gratitude. Like I've noticed how when I'm sick, you take care of the baby, my sister at the time. And she's like, I've noticed how hard you've been working. And then she turned on the movie. And I was like, and I sat down
That's
and watched
awesome.
it. Yeah. So like, but that was an uphill battle that I would have died on.
you ever have your armies of elves?
That's right. I think 300 hadn't come out yet, but there's that line where like our arrows will blot out the sun. Yeah. I would have taken all those arrows.
Tonight we died in half.
Yeah, I would have done it for Lord of the Rings.
That's
so
hilarious.
that was a war I had to fight.
That's so funny.
But I did end up. My mom conceded on that one, and not that she lost, but she just let me have it. So, and it wasn't like the anime battle where you beat the main bad guy and he's like, interesting. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like an impasse. It wasn't an impasse. It was she knew it was important to me, and she somehow worked it out in her head to let me have it.
That's awesome.
So that was nice.
Good for you.
Now well, I don't even know if we'll get to this list now.
I'm sorry, these are just such interesting.
Concepts. So shows I had to hide. The SpongeBob episode where it's Club SpongeBob and he has the magic conch shell. I knew she would hate that.
Oh, yeah, you told us before. Yeah.
I think I did. Sorry, I didn't. But
that's fine. But it was because it was cultish, right?
Pretty much. Like they're worshiping the conch. They literally said, "All hail the magic conch."
Yeah.
and we had just got done with Vacation Bible School. So Vacation Bible School, the whole theme was cornerstone. Jesus is the cornerstone of our lives. Well, there's a line in SpongeBob, that episode where he's like, "This is the cornerstone of our well-being." I was like, I know that word, cornerstone. I can't let her see that.
I love how it's like,
forget
the spiritual message. You're just like, I gotta hide SpongeBob.
I have to. VBS has trained me for this moment. Fairly Odd Parents. So, it was fairy. I know I said this. Fairy godparents. So the word God's in there. So I was like, I gotta hide. I didn't realize godparent was an actual title, like something that they hand family members.
No, sure.
I
thought the same thing.
Yeah. No. Anything that involved real people, couldn't watch it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So Drake and Josh, forget it.
Oh,
you
watched it eventually, right?
No.
Dude, you missed a generation.
Yeah. I know. Have I caught a few episodes as time has gone on? Yeah. But as an adult, well past the intended age group, I got to watch iCarly because whenever my mom married Dad, he chilled her out on all that stuff. So we could watch iCarly, Victorious, all that stuff. And by then I was already a teenager.
I was a little too old for Victorious, but I did watch iCarly.
Which is weird because you're younger than me. So
yeah.
And I was the right age group.
Because years passed and my little brother was watching Victorious. I'm like, okay, good. I'm past that generation.
I had the biggest crush on Victoria Justice. So
is that
Victorious?
Okay.
The main girl in Victorious.
Who played her?
Victoria Justice.
That's her name. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
In the show, she's Tori Vega.
Isn't Ariana Grande in there as well?
Yeah, that's her breakout thing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's weird. So nobody in the show actually took off except for Ariana Grande, but the whole show centered around the other characters and their careers. you know, and then for some reason the side girl that like, you know, in the show everyone makes fun of her and blah blah blah. She's the one whose career just like took off to where, I mean, I think Taylor Swift's a bigger star, but like, pretty close behind her is Ariana Grande. That's crazy to me.
I think she said at one point that all the hair dye destroyed her hair at one point, so she always wears it in a high ponytail because like Victoria's ruined it. I was like, that's kind of funny.
That's pretty sad. Hey, you know what? She's doing just fine though, with or without it.
The Disney Corporation.
Okay. Yeah.
But okay, speaking of TV shows.
One more thing.
What?
So any show where the parents were dumber than the kid characters.
Oh yeah, that was out the window when they make the parents look stupid.
Yes. My mom was like, it's gonna cause you to grow up and not respect me. I was like, oh my
Very Odd Parents was such a constant battle, but like on the border, because there were some episodes she's found funny. So I was like, okay, cool. But there was one episode where my mom's deathly afraid of cockroaches, and there was an episode where like I forget what it was, but like Tinny makes a wish, and for some reason there's like a cockroach army, and they became like there's like millions of them in the episode, and that like made her ban it for like a week or something.
Now that's petty.
And I know it's her own. Yeah, it's her own stuff.
That's not even based on her own development.
She made me afraid of them because of her. I was like,
that's not even based on your own development.
No. So eventually we're like, okay, if you promise never to put that episode on again, can we watch it? It's like, okay. It was every other episode was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jimmy Neutron had the same problem where Hugh Neutron's an idiot.
I think I could watch that fine.
Yeah, I could, but that was one like Hugh wasn't in every episode.
Yeah,
so it was like That's true. I can kind of work that one.
The dad was so fun. The dad is what everyone remembers.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, like he's the one that gets memed.
Hey, Jimbo.
Yeah, hey Jimbo. Looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo. Yeah, so
my brother in Christ, Jimbo.
But Fairly Odd Parents, that was one like you couldn't hide that. His parents were a key part of the show. So you know, anyway. All right. Did you have another thing to add to shows before we get to the list? We're almost out of time on this list.
Good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So speaking of Caillou earlier, Caillou's the first one. So here's the thing. We love cartoons as kids, but sometimes the characters in them actually got on our nerves. These 12 in particular are some of the most annoying jerks we've had the displeasure of watching.
Okay.
Caillou. I didn't watch that much Caillou, but I watched enough to where I actually didn't like him.
I hated it when he was like a little brat, but like other than that, I don't think he was. I think
that's what everyone had a problem with.
Yeah,
he was the kid that like you had to like. You just wish someone would punch him and straighten him up because he would brat, and he looks so punchable. Like I'm looking at this picture, like dude,
this is the diabetic kid you're talking about,
right? Right, but at least the diabetic kid was humble. Like he wasn't like annoying.
No, this kid's like, I want to go to the park. We can't go right now. Your mom's having a baby. I want to go to the park.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
I want the Arthur punch.
That's what I know, right? So, all right. Next up on the list, Scrappy Doo.
Never watched. Couldn't watch Scooby Doo. So
couldn't watch Scooby. That's too bad. We could watch that one. So one of the shows my parents didn't block was Boomerang.
Okay, I love Boomerang.
Yeah. So nowadays Boomerang though doesn't have the old school cartoons. Now it's just like they use it as a failed launching pad for failed Cartoon Network shows. Sad.
Yeah,
but
it's a graveyard,
dude. I never found Scrappy annoying.
Really?
What I did find annoying was I found it annoying. He has so much confidence that he could fight people. So you never seen Scrappy Doo?
I know who he is, but
yeah. So he would always go, let me at him, or I'll splat him. You know, like he was getting ready to fight ghosts. That's the attitude I have with ghosts nowadays. Everyone's worried. So me as a Christian, everyone's worried about demonic activity, demons,
and
blah
you're
blah.
Like
bro,
Scrappy Doo.
I want a ghost to come up here and try and touch me. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I dare a ghost to try. So,
wow,
I like Scrappy. I don't know, okay, but I understand he's got the high pitched voice. Let me at him. Well,
he gets a redemption arc, right? He becomes the villain of the movie.
I know, right? So it's the joke of
your favorite movie,
the first Scooby Doo movie. Yeah, written by James Gunn. Yeah, he's the main villain. I thought that was cool. And it was such a fun, like, we didn't expect him to be in the movie to where when he popped up, we all laughed. Yes. Because we just didn't expect it. And there he was. And I think it was the same voice actor. And it was funny. So I thought they got it right. So I thought it was pretty funny.
I love how in that movie, like halfway through, they're like, hey, anyone remember Scrappy Doo? Yeah. And then they move on. And then he just shows up as the villain later.
Yeah, right. So moving on the list, are you a big Transformers fan?
Off and on. I really like some of it. but I never really like diehard watched any of it.
Can you guess which character they listed?
Starscream?
Yeah. So you already know his reputation precedes him. Yeah, his reputation precedes him.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, Starscream.
So like,
Also, okay, so my favorite Transformer is Soundwave.
nice. I don't know who that is, but
Okay,
nice.
he's Megatron. Basically, let me put it this way: it actually fits in. He's Megatron's a real right hand man. So he's actually the only competent one of the Decepticons.
Sure.
He sounds the coolest. He's the one that actually sounds like a voice recorder. And actually, I learned how to duplicate that sound on Audacity, which is really cool. But he's the coolest. He's the most competent. He gets all the stuff done. He's really small, but he has like two robots that help him. I think Mixtape's one of them, but like literally like these two little Decepticons that help him. He's really cool, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Starscream, who's the right hand man who screws up every single job that's given to him. And every opportunity he tries to kill Megatron. And Megatron's like, if you fail me one more time, I'm sorry, Megatron. It's just like, dude, promote Soundwave already. He's the only one getting stuff done. And like a lot of people in the show are like have made this comment basically where like Megatron's like, we've captured the Autobots. We've, everything has gone to plan. It's like, Soundwave's plan. He planned all of it, and you're giving all the credit to like Soundwave or Starscream and yourself. Like, Soundwave could just do it all himself.
Right.
But yeah, it's I cannot believe they heard his voice and they were like,
That's it.
you know what? Let's not make it just like a one-time thing. Let's put him in every episode.
Yeah. So the Transformers movies were coming out as I was like in college. So the fourth one, the fifth one, and then nowadays we got Rise of the Beast.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting. That's still going on. That came out 2007.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe it's longer. It went longer than the Avengers.
It's got to be longer than that. Okay, sorry guys. Sidebar. Let me look at this.
I thought it was 2004.
I was gonna say this has been coming out for a minute.
The
Almost
first
10 years
Transformers
already.
movie must have been 2004 or 5.
Yeah. Let me see here. It's nope, 2007.
Wow,
That's crazy to me. It feels like longer
super long.
because we've gotten like 8 movies in like 7 years. Let's say 2023. So yeah, no, what 6 years? 2007. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. 20 something years.
Yeah,
almost.
that's
So,
crazy.
Yeah, 16 years. That's better. Okay.
And they haven't really gotten better.
No,
But yeah,
no, they've gotten better.
Starscream wasn't really in those movies that much, though. He was kind of just like a cameo villain.
So sorry, sidetracked. I got sidetracked with what. But anyway, the time's really flying by. I just noticed. But
#, watch this Transformers Siege on Netflix. Really freaking good.
oh, so the joke growing up, and when I got to college, we were joking about how it's a terrible adaptation, but they got Starscream right because he's still useless in the live action movies. So like if
guess who's not there? Soundwave.
Yeah, right. So it's like, well, I don't know much about Transformers, but I'm glad you had so much in there.
Yeah.
Do you remember Pinky the Brain and Elmira? Do you remember that show?
I never watched either of them.
Well,
I actually didn't get into Animaniacs until way later.
Elmira is one of the characters they listed.
I know who they are, but like,
I know nothing about her.
Okay, really?
All right, Dora the Explorer. Guess what show wasn't blocked when my mom decided to lock down DirecTV? Dude, I'll give you a hint.
No. Dora comes in. Guess what show wasn't blocked? Yes. No. Lord of the Rings? I don't think so.
Cluck. So the title here, I don't know what's more awkward, answering Dora or sitting in silence while she stares at you. I'm glad you brought that up. Right?
I don't think I had a problem with Dora.
I did.
It doesn't.
I didn't want to watch that.
It didn't like annoy me. And then Swipey no Swipey, that was fun.
Yeah, I'll still find
But
myself
like the guy,
quoting
like,
that.
there's a robot chicken of her like brutalizing freaking the fox, like Swipey the Swox. I think it was
Swiper, no swiping.
Swipey no Swipey, but like, yes,
I know a lot about it for someone who doesn't like it.
but that was cool. But like, I always felt bad because like he was always so close. He tried the hardest out of everyone. He was smart, but like not too smart for Dora and her magical friends.
It's true.
We also had a theory that her dad was a drug lord, but I guess that doesn't fly nowadays. But yeah,
Edgelord.
Yeah. You know what show I couldn't watch was Dragon Tales. I watched a little bit, but like,
Oh yeah, dragons can do it.
Well, I couldn't watch it because at the very beginning of every episode they do a seance and they say something on dragon
I wish
scale.
with
blah, blah,
all
blah.
my might that this stimulus chick would hit by tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oof.
D.W. Reed. I agree.
Yeah, kind of like I just said, Caillou. It's basically just Caillou in a.
You're like, so I'd never hit a woman till you
But
quit.
Arthur
but,
punches her. I'm like, good, thank God.
Yeah, I would never promote violence against women.
Yeah.
But DW,
She wasn't a woman yet; she was a girl.
yeah.
So
When I was a kid, I was like, somebody just hit her with their bus. Oh, that's dark.
Arthur was a really good show. I didn't watch it like a lot,
Bro, that
but
show
I
was
did.
funny.
I did really like
That's
Arthur.
a funny
It still
show.
is kind of funny.
Yeah, I need to. I want to rewatch it. Did you watch the ending to where that? So they ended the show and they gave it an ending. It's on YouTube. You should give it a watch. We can watch it after. We got time to kill before the movie. But yeah, absolutely. Like that. They had a decent ending.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, moving along here, Peggy Hill. I'm watching King of the Hill now. I know
I haven't
it's your
watched it, but yeah,
I know it's your best friend's favorite show.
that's true.
Yeah, so it's good, and I can understand why they put Peggy Hill on there. She's not annoying, but she's one of those where she's like she has the really high morals for no reason. Where I'm a person where like if it makes sense, just go with the program, right? But she will not. She will never play ball because it really messes with her her moral compass is just so strong that like she will not budge on anything. Gotcha. I can understand why that'd be annoying. So I never watched Pokemon, but Team Rocket's on here for all you Pokemon fans.
I could watch every other episode of Team Rocket, but not when my parents were there.
Same.
And yeah, Team Rocket was annoying, but like I never interested me because whenever I watched Pokemon, I was always waiting for something to happen, or like I was like waiting for the gym battles. I was like, okay, those are like the coolest episodes, right? Whenever I would watch it, it would be Ash right before he gets to the gym, and then like
Ash right before he catch him.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, next time on, he takes on the water gym. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to watch it next week.
That sucks.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know anything about Captain Planet except for all the joke skits I watch online. But
Yeah.
Jubilee, that's a funny one.
That's understandable. Jubilee. I never watched X-Men.
Lucy from is that from X-Men?
Jubilee?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Captain Planet.
Oh.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm stupid. Sorry. Cut. Lucy from Charlie Brown.
I never watched Charlie Brown. We talked about this.
The caption says, "Would you just let Charlie Brown kick the football already?" Yeah, I agree with that. That was a little bit annoying. I hate the know-it-all girl characters.
Yeah.
That she definitely fell underneath that. Arnold's cousin Janet from what is that?
Couldn't watch
Magic
Hey Arnold.
School Bus.
Oh, I thought that was just Hey Arnold.
Nope, Magic School Bus.
I can watch Magic School Bus.
Now here's a good one. Randall Weems from Recess. Did you ever watch Recess?
Couldn't watch it.
The hunched over kid. He looks like a Randall. And he's like.
I know what you're thinking of. I know you're talking about.
He's getting ready to snitch on everybody.
That sounds like a cool character. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
No, he's the worst. He loved to tattle on everybody, and we hated him as much as he loved it.
I'm pretty sure my mom thought that show was like propaganda for bullying.
Right.
So I was like, oh, dang it.
There's a drop dead funny episode where they build a fort, and it's so funny. I don't even want to describe it to you without spoiling it, but it was killing me how funny that show was. So maybe we should watch that. Log into Disney Plus and just watch it. We got time to kill.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Randall Weems. I'm sorry, that design on him. He looks very much like a kid you'd hate.
Stacks.
That's it on this list here.
Okay.
There's another list, but it's got all the same characters on it. So we got a little bit of time left. All right, we got here today Pringles Hot Honey. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last Pringles we did, this is part of the big mashup that I told you we bought a few weeks ago. What was it? Philly cheesesteak. We did Philly cheesesteak last time.
Yeah.
So now we have the hot honey Pringles. These actually look kind of tasty. So
Philly cheese was actually really good. Remember that?
yeah, they smelled awful, but they were very delicious. I'm just gonna do one for now and then see how I feel later. Because I noticed when I was editing the other Pringles one, the chewing is really annoying the heck out of me. Sure. Here you go, sir. Go ahead and grab you one.
All right.
Now I noticed that these don't have a terrible odor to them, which is real nice. So let's see here.
Yeah, they smell nice.
These do smell okay. These just smell like Pringles, to be honest with you. They don't even have a smell. How did they get Philly cheesesteak to smell so bad? But those,
They put too much flavor in it. That's
I
why.
was gonna say those you could really taste every ingredient. I tasted the onions, the meat, and the bread.
It made me want to go get a Jimmy John or Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, you made a
cheese.
comment about how you could taste the bread.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. Let me give this a taste.
3, 2.
Hot, honey, hot. I'm waiting on the hot part.
Kind of bland.
Yeah, I don't taste anything here. Maybe I ate it upside down. All the flavors on the bottom. It feels like my tongue wants to be spicy, or like it feels like it wants to start burning, but then it just dies.
No honey.
I could kind of taste a hint of honey,
Really.
just a hint, but like for a quarter of a second.
It got hot a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, it got a little hot.
The back of my throat's actually kind of feeling a little tingle.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
From a guy who doesn't like spicy stuff, I can kind of like
That's tasty.
a little bit, but there's like no flavor. It tastes
Give
like
it a moment. It's actually kind of tasty.
I'm waiting.
Really?
Nothing.
Okay, I actually think it's kind of tasty.
Oh my gosh! First time ever, you like an item that I don't like that much.
First time ever. You liked the ice cream.
No, yeah, but it's usually I like something and you hate it. Now it's flipped, where
Yeah.
it's like the other way around.
I think the other one's better, but this one's...
Yeah.
Actually, I do like this one.
I'm not feeling it.
Really?
Yeah, I barely taste any
Have
honey.
2 more.
Fine, I'm doing this for
And then give me 2 more.
I'm doing this for views. Here you go. I can taste honey for half a second,
I'm tasting it.
and then it's gone.
That's crazy.
No,
Really?
no.
That's odd.
Like maybe it reminds me of like the honeycomb cereal. You remember me want honeycomb? That's all I
Speaking
remember.
of annoying cartoon characters.
Yeah.
Let's just throw all cereal box mascots on there.
Oh, we should do that next time. I don't like the Trix Rabbit, and I was very happy every time I got thwarted.
I felt bad for him. I didn't like the Cocoa Puffs bird because he didn't help anyone.
Excuse me. That the spice just wants to stick to the back of my throat on those chips.
Those are good, dude.
You're on drugs. What's those hot honey chips laced with? That's what I want to know.
I'm taking it home. Looks good.
Yeah,
It
no, you
smells
can,
good.
they're all yours, buddy. No. Do you remember that Family Guy bit where he's auditioning for the Cocoa Puffs commercial and he's dressed in the rooster outfit?
I think I do.
I'm Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He can't deliver the line right. All right, guys. I think that's all we got time for today. Thank you for joining us on this. The first half was deep and depressing, and the back half, which wasn't that bad.
As a promise, I'm going to tell my joke because I never did.
I forgot. Thank you.
So-
Go ahead. Let's hear it, and that'll close us out.
Yep.
See you next time, guys.
So, everyone, what religions do hippos practice? Hypocrisy.
Well, see y'all next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.